looking at the way Pep Guardiola is using him, is giving him that flexibility to be able to come in from the left and, take all those shots. Even that last goal he scored was... Hello, good evening. This is Taiwo Ojobi, your host on Lanona's Maple Sports. We like to bring unfiltered opinion, sharp analysis, and some big love for Canadian hoops and eyes. Today, we're going to be digging into the world of football. It's clear everywhere around there, Champions League. We're already preparing for the finals. A lot has been happening. We try to break down the NBA, CEBL, Premier League, Champions League, and we try to carve out some small space for Smart Hockey Talk. This is run by Taiwo, your commentator, analyst, and unapologetic fan of the game. This is EPM, Mountain Standard Time. Just like to say, try something new. Today is a good day. Take a chance, be brave and make a difference. Crespo, Joshua, Emmanuel, just say hello. And, we can just dive right into the Champions League. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello, guys. Good to be here.
Hello, guys.
Emmanuel, is it because your team is winning? You can't say hello.
We're just humble, man. We're so humble, But we thank God. All our haters all over the world, people hate Arsenal, they want us to win. They are too plenty. All over the social media, you see them, everybody shouting, Arsenal must not win. Anyone must we'll not won for 22 years. Maybe let us move in this one for once. Well, anyways, we're here to discuss our favorite sports. So looking for wonderful.
Yeah, that's true.
It's been a great week for Arsenal fans. So, and long may it continue.
Exactly. So I think we'll just start straight from Arsenal, and I just like to talk directly from sequence of events that happened within the week under review. Everything started from a lot of criticism coming into the Champions League. Everybody was looking at, would us be able to get it done? And someone was telling me, says, when Arsenal was created as a club, this is the second time they will get to the final. And it took about 2 decades for it to happen. The last time was 2006. And that was the time Ronaldinho was Ronaldinho still in Barcelona? Yeah.
Yep,
Ronaldinho was still in Barcelona at the time that they got to the final. So it's 2 decades now before they got to the final. Second time ever in the club's history. And the fans are like, you're telling us not to celebrate. It's a big milestone for them. And, it's a thing of joy. Looking at what happened against Fulham, before I allow Emmanuel just... start to spread the floor. It's good to start with some of the best news across Champions League. I watched their game against Fulham and I really liked that game, the sequence of events. I saw clearly that the way they put Eze, in fact, the positioning they put Eze really helped them drive the ball, especially in the first half. It was seamless. Saka was on the right. He was struggling with the Robin defender guy. But what happened is his first opportunity to dribble the guy when the guy slipped and fell was when he was able to cross, and that was when the first goal came. And second goal, they had already made some adjustments, and it was looking like Gyökeres was coming to the right a bit more, and Saka was moving to the middle. So I noticed that those two guys were rolling a bit more, and that's why you will notice that all the goals came between the coordination between Saka and Gyökeres. They were coordinating very well, and that's why the 3 goals came. Trossard struggled a little bit in the left, but once he was able to move and give one of the first crosses, the first success resulted to a goal. And some people said the first half against Fulham was that Arsenal side that was preparing something different going into that Champions League matchup. And I like what I've seen since then. They just had a wonderful first half against Fulham and they just took over from there. And they went as a disciplined side against Atlético and they made it just happen. But I won't take a lot of the moments away from Emmanuel. Let Emmanuel dive into what really happened, how they were able to hold it together. I understand an ugly win is still a win.
Of course.
But just tell us how we got here and how Arsenal is able to get some kind of respite with all the efforts they've been putting in getting to the final. Congratulations to you guys. So the floor is open to Emmanuel. Let's make it count.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. It's been an excellent week, right? From winning Fulham 3-0 to Man City dropping points against Everton.
Exactly.
Atletico at home, first leg in the, one hand on the cup for now. So let's see how we go. Hopefully we're able to finish up the league very strong and win these 2 trophies that are in front of us. Look at the game. I thought I made some changes in that game, right? The first one, the very obvious one was letting Luis Kelly play that central midfield position, and dropping Zubimendi, which was a big thing when I was like, that was a big decision, right? In that Fulham game. But Luis Kelly was excellent. his hold up play, holding up the ball, putting his body between the players and the ball, being able to make those passes to Saka quickly, being able to make those runs. It was just excellent. It was beautiful to see. I mean, we had seen signs of that last season, that he's able to progress the ball forward a bit quicker than what we've seen with Mendy. So when I saw the lineup and I saw Maslow, I was like, well, what's Arteta smoking today? But well, let's see what will happen. And he was Maslow was brilliant. That's why he was the best player, far than concerned, in that game, right? But I felt like him and Declan Rice together, they made that midfield a bit stronger than what we've seen in the.
No, they also give Izzy that opportunity to move with a lot of confidence.
Exactly.
And move forward.
To move forward. And again, the other thing that I noticed that they moved the ball a bit quicker all around. Like the pass from Izzy to Gyökeres for the second goal. You could see that quick movement of the ball. They just not, and to be fair to Gyökeres, he makes those runs almost every game.
Exactly.
Every game makes this sort of runs, but they don't seem to find him. So them finding him with that pass for that second goal was brilliant. If I go back to Saka's goal, that's what Bukayo Saka does. Clearly, he was playing with an injury all this while, and we were busy, saying he wasn't playing very well. I mean, I don't know how these guys do it, playing with all these injuries, and they're able to play and play for 90 minutes with injury. So he hasn't been performing well in the past, but these last few games, that Fulham game, we saw what Bukayo Saka can really do. Beating his man, making that quick pass, and then Gyökeres scoring, and then the second goal as well. We saw him taking those risks because that second goal was a brilliant one as far as I'm concerned. From where he shot the ball,
definitely
left foot, from where, because what's his name? The keeper, the Fulham keeper was already on the floor. He was already going the other way. I think it was going to the top left corner, but he
was a former Chelsea keeper too, so he knew all those guys.
Former Arsenal.
Mainoo keeper.
Yeah.
So he knows all those guys.
He was expecting the ball to go somewhere else, but brilliant Saka put it where he put it. And again, thanks to Gyökeres for that, for that pass, holding the ball up, making that run. Is a true finding him. That was brilliant as well, because to be fair, he makes those runs all the time. And then the third goal from Gyökeres was another brilliant one as well. That's what you get when you pass the ball, when you get the ball to him on time. It's not when the play is so slow, the build-up play is so slow. Before you want to pass the ball, he's already crowded. Even though he does a good job of occupying defenders, but you don't give him the ball when he can't even get to it, right?
Exactly.
And that's what happened in that Fulham game. It was brilliant. Saka was wonderful. We saw the attack like playing together. Gyökeres, Trossard and Saka playing like together. So when they came off, you could see the game change when they came off. Even though we still were able to create some chances, but because our attack was just the tempo just dropped, but we defended properly. Fulham didn't have a sniff in that game, so I thought it was already done in the first half. I didn't expect them to win by that big margin. I expected like a 2-1 or a 1-0 win, but it was good to see them score 3 goals in a game for. I can't remember last time we scored 3 goals in a particular match, right?
Yeah.
And then going to the Champions League game against Atlético on Tuesday, we only was going to be a tough game, right? Atlético, we saw what they were doing over the weekend, preparing for the game. Resting all their players. Their key players were rested in that match they played against Valencia, and they still won. It shows you how good their bench is, right? And then coming to that game, when I saw the lineup again, I saw Lewis Kelly. I didn't expect to see him there starting that game. And that's another big decision Arteta made, and the guy came through. Came through. The same thing he did in the Fulham game was just second nature to him. Just playing well with Declan Rice. They were helped us with moving the ball out of the back. So those we're missing him. What's his name? Timber before. Someone who helped us passing the ball out of the back. But those two guys, Declan Rice and Lewis Kelly, they did a brilliant job on that day. And Saka again with the goal. Thanks to again the same sort of play with Saliba and Gyökeres. That's the same sort of pass.
Exactly.
Even not for the defender that
I think it was a rebound. It was more of a rebound.
Yeah, if that defender didn't touch it, there'd been a one-on-one with the keeper. And that'd been maybe it may have been a Gyökeres goal, right? Or maybe Gyökeres assist. But it was good to see Arsenal play with a lot of confidence. I just hope it continues like that against Fulham, against West Ham, right? Because the West Ham game is a very important one as far as I'm concerned. And West Ham is playing for their life right now. So I see that game being a very tough game. But then let's see. You never know how these things will play out. It might just be an easy one for Arsenal because we have the quality to hurt West Ham. But it was a good thing. So I think for me overall, bringing him as Lewis Kelly, the confidence the guy has at 19 is brilliant, excellent. And then the quick play, getting the ball to Gyökeres quickly, unlike what we've seen in the past, was also another key decision too. And then maybe Saka being in form and playing very well too is also a key factor because to be fair, we've missed that guy. And Monica has been trying, but he doesn't have end product. He lacks. Sometimes he misses he could beat his man, and then he will miss where to pass the ball to, where to shoot the ball, right? So that's what works with Madueke. But he's also a brilliant player. He's also a good backup for Saka. But good to see Saka back. Good to see Lewis Kelly back into the team. And I hope that we still continue to play away till the end of the season. I mean, we're in the finals already, so let's see how it goes. I mean, and anything can happen, like you just said, right? PSG is a wonderful team to play against.
Yeah.
Still about 24 goals in the Champions League already, so they can still be beaten, right? So let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Crespo, before you jump on it, a lot of people were saying the first half of this Arsenal match was a joy to watch. But what happened in the second half? Is the second half also reminding us that this team knows how to lock shop when they need to, or they've gotten that key, they know how to do it? What do you think generally?
I think what they had to do was Atletico wasn't making it easy for them as well. They had more chances to go ahead, but Atletico also gave in a fight after their very poor first half. We saw even Lookman was very poor.
They
Hardly
didn't
did he
really give
have.
it a fight.
Yeah, the fight was in there. So they
Yeah.
tried in the second half. So, and at that point, even if Atletico offed and puffed, they didn't show any sign to hurt Arsenal. It wasn't there, But again, probably they didn't. They were not just up to the task on the day. They play. I think they did better at the Metropolitan compared to what they did at the Emirates. So, in a nutshell, kudos to Arsenal. Atletico tried as much as they could, but I think the defense line of Arsenal shows to everybody again that when they actually, in fact, they've shown all season that they're not the type to concede a lot of goals. And like Ima was saying, I think for me, the person that actually stood out for me was Ben White.
Yeah, Ben White.
Because
he struggled. He struggled against Fulham on that right.
Exactly.
They were just helping him. They were helping him basically against, because I had to pen it down. He was struggling against Fulham in first half. But he had a lot of people coming and support him, and that was what helped him. Yeah.
And you can attribute it to lack of game time that he has suffered from this season.
Yep.
And for him to really step up against Atletico, kudos to him. I really hope he would have a good run of games towards the final, because that final is going to face a lot of fast boys, So, but again, Arsenal has shown us that they can not allow others score them. They can score, but at the same time, PSG has shown us that we can score when we want to score. And we can also be very pragmatic by holding the ball, that you won't have the ball to hurt us. But again, I think Arsenal is a good side. I think Arsenal defeated Bayern in the group stages.
Yep.
Yeah, they did.
So that gives them a lot of confidence. We can do as much as you can do if you beat Bayern, which is one of the top teams, and we did that to them also. So I'm excited to see what the final looks like, and like as a neutral, we want to see a lovely game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people are really looking forward to it, and it's going to be played in Budapest. It's so funny that they just chose a neutral European city, Budapest, and looking at Puskás, the history of Puskás and all those stuff. So a lot of people are looking forward to it. So Joshua, generally, if you just look at Arsenal's run to the final, they are still 100%, whether we like it or not. So it means they are doing something right. But generally, what's your prediction because of this very, very intelligent PSG side? They are playing with a lot of joy. What do you think Arsenal should prepare towards?
I think like everyone has said, it's been a great run. I'm still unbeaten, and they've had to do the job really. Their run in the group stage was fantastic, and even though they were on the side of the draw that they would want to be, they still had to go beat those teams and win those games, right? As you can only play what's in front of you. And
absolutely,
in Atletico Madrid, against Atletico Madrid, they did a professional job. The first leg was a professional away European performance to then close out the time, the second leg. And like I was going to say, the second leg I was quite disappointed with Atletico Madrid. Even our boy Lookman, who for some reason wasn't just up to the game.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know what happened, but yeah, they're not up to the game. But again, I have to also give credit to the fans in the stadium. I think Arsenal fans really stood up. The atmosphere was good. They were cheering the team all through, and they had this big banner coming into the stadium. I think like I listened to Simon Jordan talk about this, that Martin Keown, the Arsenal Invincible defender, that he thinks the first leg made that happen in the second leg, because if you notice the first leg, Diego Simeone was jumping up and down, the fans were coming, and I think that just then made Arsenal fans do the same in the second leg to Atletico Madrid. So again, it was a very good performance. And like Emmanuel said, the midfield changed. Something has changed in that midfield that a lot of people might not really notice. And I think that coincides with dropping Zubimendi also. Arteta has played Declan Rice deeper
Yeah.
usually than he usually play
Yeah.
him
So
initially.
right now he's playing 2 4s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
true.
notice that even in the Fulham game and the second leg, Miles Lewis Kelly was more of the one pushing the ball forward as
Yeah.
opposed to what Declan Rice would do, because Declan Rice is more tidy. His underrated quality is his technique on the ball, his passes. He has a very good range of pass, short, long. He hardly loses possession when he's passing or misplaced pass. So that's just been a slight tweak. And for me, I think that's why I prefer Declan Rice. That's where he
Deep.
excelled in West Ham. But I
Right.
understand because Ateta does not play with 2 4s. He plays with 1 and 2 8s or 2 number 10s, whatever you
Yeah.
call it. So that's why he usually plays Declan Rice that further. But again, I think that tweak just shows that Ateta can also be flexible, and he's noticed that thing. And for me, I think the also critical thing is, again, like I always say, hindsight is a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah. Hindsight.
Yeah.
This thing that has happened to Arsenal is losing that Man City game. In a way, I think it's the best thing after that, because I think it's switched something in Arteta and the team, because they have gone up a level since that game, even though they played well in that game but lost, but like they've gone up a level. And because I didn't see the Fulham scoreline coming, I mean, I didn't see it. And not just even that, also in the play, Declan Rice coming deep, Eze on the ball, Gyökeres is now making some incredible runs that I've not seen.
Runs.
Maybe like Thierry Henry was saying, is either he's now making those runs or the team have now
Not finding him more.
are now playing to his strengths more.
To his strength more, yeah.
This guy is not an Hurricane. He won't come deep. He's not that technical. He's not easy on there. He's not like Hurricane.
Again,
This
yeah.
is what he can do best. Playing, making the run earlier, playing the ball, releasing the guy early, let him run, let him pull the guys. Even though he doesn't score, he can bring others into play. And against Atletico Madrid, the second leg, I think was a wonderful performance.
Yeah.
For me, I would say 9/10. If he has scored that cross from Nkape, it would have been a 10/10 performance. But even though he didn't score, he still had a wonderful performance. And sometimes those are things that number 9s do, that because they don't score, you don't get to see it. But he's making those runs, he's pulling defenders out. And Arsenal, the midfield are like releasing the ball to him early for him to go cause damage. So it really helps. In his first season, he scored 20 goals, I think, in all competitions so far. 14 in the
What?
league
21
and
right now.
21 right now. And that's a very good return in his first season in Arsenal. In fact, no one has done that since Alexis Sanchez in 2015, which was also a very wonderful performance. But again, all you know is you can say I'm waxing lyrical about Arsenal, because I think they've really done really well. For them to be at this stage where they are, where they can win 2 titles, it is really remarkable. It's going to be like the final capstone for Arteta's 6-year tenure in Arsenal, and it's going to be a great way to mark that. Interestingly, they are facing one of the best team, probably the best team in Europe right now, the defending champions. And it's going to be an interesting final for me. How I'll classify it is the unstoppable force, PSG, against the immovable object, Arsenal, in terms of how solid Arsenal can be. And it's going to be very interesting in terms of tactics to see what Enrique would deploy, because what he did in the second leg was to limit Olise, because
Yeah.
Olise caused the damage in the first leg. And you notice the tactics he employed in the second leg was really, he overloaded his area. All the goal kicks were playing. He was intentionally playing the goal kicks to throw in, so that press Olise on that right hand side, and whenever the throw gets to him, he's blocked. Just like he did against Liverpool, where they were throwing, the throw-ins were going to the midfield. So he's just that kind of thinker coach, where it's interesting to see what he does in the final. But I think it's going to be interesting, as they showed also in the second leg, that PSG can also defend. They can also decide to protect a lead, as we saw against Bayern, where they defended really well. Pacho was really wonderful, and we can see that they can also protect the lead. So it's going to be interesting. I think Arsenal will be the underdogs for sure, based on form and how they are playing. But again,
they're playing defending champions.
it's a one-off, but again, it's a one-off game. It's a one-off game, so anything can happen. So underdog doesn't mean you cannot win. It just means that for now, going into the game, you're underdogs, but it's a one-off game. It's not like a league or 2-leg game. Like, you just need one set piece, one penalty, someone to make a mistake, like an own goal, and then all of a sudden it's game over, and you're like. So it's going to be an interesting game. I think anyone who wins it would have deserved it. And I just hope we get to see a very interesting game, not like the one we saw last year, which was really one-sided, and the game was over before even the first half was over. So, but yeah, really interesting times for us now. The mood is positive. The fans are happy, the players are happy,
The
and now
double is alive.
just so like Mane said, West Ham is the most important game next. And West
Yeah,
Ham fighting for their lives, because if they don't win, that's probably their season over. Arsenal also needs to win also to put the pressure to get them one step closer. So I think they will do the job. I think they would win the Premier League. I
yeah,
think they could be something to fight for. But again, first final in 20 years. And it was
yeah.
nice to hear Thierry Henry like talk about this, start talking about Saka, how if they win the league and win the Champions League, they will be the unforgettables. They were
Unforgettable.
the
Yeah,
inevitables and
I
winning the
like I
Premier League,
like
but
that thing
they
he
just
said.
fell short not winning the Champions League. But it's a really proud moment that every Arsenal fan should be proud of. The owners, the son who has come in to run the club, the people who gave Arteta the chance, even Arteta himself. I mean, something they can be proud of, and hopefully they're able to crown the season with at least one of those trophies.
Man, that's a good one because you're also able to cut across into PSG, which was supposed to be the next one we're talking about. But I'll probably just, give Crespo an opportunity to jump in on how PSG was able to psychologically take away that game from a very good Bayern Munich team. I like the way they were doing their pressing, and I think Bayern Munich as a team was not broken sometime in the maybe in the middle of the game. It started from directly the first 5 minutes of the game. That first goal that came from Dembélé, it just, I looked at their compact block, their 4-4-2. I looked at, they were not pressing unnecessarily. Everything was well calculated. It's like a team that is when you are look at the way PSG has played. They are very intentional about every step.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You want every step they're
Everything they do
intentional.
is
No
there's a
emotional
reason for
fouls. No
everything they do.
emotional fouls. They were no panic. They were playing like as if when you put some boys together that don't have waist, the way they are moving, they don't have waist. I remember when Iniesta and Xavi were in the midfield, that Barca team, you wouldn't know that they are that short, really. The ball was just magneting their leg. And that's why I just feel that Enrique is not being celebrated enough. He's not being celebrated. He's a wonderful, wonderful coach. He has put these boys in the best position you can ever think of. I think this was one of the best moves by PSG. Even if Arsenal doesn't win it, this is an opportunity for us to celebrate something big happening in PSG. They are just too much. Crespo, give us your psychological turning point in the PSG Bayern Munich match so that, before we, bounce out to Emmanuel.
Yeah, so an analysis before the semifinals, we said something about PSG and Bayern. We said PSG can score, Bayern can score, but we're
Yeah.
not very sure of Bayern not conceding.
That's true.
Well, that was one of the things we discussed. Or we're not sure, but we're even surprised in the first leg that I think Bayern was ahead at some point. I think they were ahead, and PSG came back. But to the second leg, I would think for some reasons Bayern weren't at their best. Yes, probably like Joshua alluded to, getting Olise out of the game. But we didn't see that Luis Diaz we saw at the first leg. His take-ons weren't as sharp as they were. And again, I said it in the last podcast we had. We were taken to the moon to watch football.
Watch football, yeah.
So I think a lot of us are getting carried away with that is not what you get regularly.
All
So
the
when you
time.
have it,
Just once in a while.
savor it, enjoy it,
Yeah.
and don't expect it the next time. I think that was what they just told us, because that was the first leg was just beautiful football. Like I said that to Ima also, like we couldn't pinpoint any poor defending.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
all the attackers, at every chance they had to take on the dribble, they were successful. Just like Arsene Wenger said, he said these two teams, one-on-one on any side, is a take on and a shot on target.
It's true.
Is that the analysis is that clear? But we didn't see Bayern do that this time around. Luis Diaz wasn't as much as we expected. Harry Kane didn't get into the game until second half, almost deep, and that's when he took the bull by the horn, thinking, I think I need to go drag this game. He got a goal, but it wasn't just enough. But overall, I think the psychology for PSG is very simple. The way we play, if we play at that level, I'm not sure anybody can stop us. I think that's the confidence you see oozing out of those boys. There was one of the runs I saw that was like Dewey. 4 Bayern guys were after Dewey. He held onto the ball and he didn't lose the ball.
Yeah, he wouldn't lose it. He wouldn't. Those guys, there's a magnet. It's like as if you.
So
I don't know how they do it. Really.
You see, they play with so much confidence that they are very sure that with this our style, we are going to get a goal. we're going to get a goal once push comes to shove. And look at the goal they scored. It was a 1-2-3 pass, and the right back guy was exposed from the side. 1-2-3, cover was gone. Pemekano, I saw him running. I felt like, oh boy, this guy. I saw him struggling. Then he pull out. So again, I would say PSG did what everybody expected. However, we wanted to see Bayern at that super level. Again, people would want to say both teams, because of the kind of quality they face in their league, I think they've got more advantage than teams from England or probably Italy or Spain. However, it's what it is. There were years where these teams were also not playing quality football and did not qualify. There were years where these teams were in their so-called Farmers League and they're losing to the Spanish teams, the English teams. So we can't use that as an excuse this time around because it's not like they always have a chance to win. It's just like you mentioned, a good coach that deserves all the credit. And in fact, after the game, I think the CEO of PSG was like, this is the best coach in the world. And I think rightfully so. He deserves that. Trying to defend the Champions League and using young players, the wage structure in the team is low, compared to where you have all the big boys, So and is achieving what everybody is really aiming to. So I would say the psychology for PSG is everything is just working for them.
Definitely.
Organization is going fine. They've got a young team. They've got a very big team that they rotate. You won't believe that Marquinhos has not played up to 2,000 minutes this season.
So people have forgotten that Marquinhos is still in that team.
Marquinhos, has played only most of the games he has played this season at the Champions League games. Wow. He has not played a lot of games in the league. But Dembélé has not played up to 2,000 minutes this season.
I think they are keeping Dembélé for magic moments.
Exactly. So,
and Dembélé
has played only 19 games this season compared to the likes of Saka that even though he has gone on some
injury
time out of he still has over 2,000 minutes already. So you can give this as some of the things that is working for PSG. But however, is what it is. They are in France. Whatever they get. The best thing is the only thing you can give is beat them and tell them they're in Farmers League. So again, I think the psychology for them is they've got a strong side. They've got good players, young, coming in, and they believe they can beat anybody.
Definitely.
And I also, just to add, I think the early goal also helped PSG because
that early goal.
And I think that was also their intention to press early and get that early goal because if you notice, they got that early goal and they were then trying to pick up Bayern on the counter. And they were not as open as they went because, again, they had that lead press. So it was more of Bayern trying to then open up, force the issue, which is why we didn't really see that much space that we saw in the first leg for Luis Diaz, Olise, and Musiala. But I mean, they had some chances, but they just couldn't finish. Remember, Musiala had some chances, Diaz had some chances. And you just feel like if that Kane's goal came 10 minutes earlier, it could have set up the last 10 minutes for a very interesting game.
Or something,
Because the finish was good, and that's, Kane.
The game will be interesting, but you would, like you said, PSG, they dropped their level with all the space behind Bayern.
I thought they would get the second goal.
Yeah.
But it was good. I mean, the Kane's goal was also good. It just shows that Kane, he just needed one chance. But again, it was not to be. Again, like we knew it was going to be a good game, but fortunately, only one of them can make to the final. But
definitely. But also looking at the time that the goal came, if you're looking for some kind of motivation and it's coming at the 94th minute, they're just looking at how much time do we really have to respond.
Bayern's mistake was considered that early goal. I think that changed the game. That gave the initiative back to PSG.
Exactly. But even if we look at it generally, that goal was it was a masterpiece because if you look at it, there was no chance for anybody to make any save because it took the ball very high, very, very classical, goal if you ask me. Crespo, you wanted to say something?
No, I was saying even they had the goal advantage coming from the first leg. So
first leg already.
That first goal just, like Joshua said, gave them room to, guys, let's wait for them. Right now, let them take the initiative of scoring 2 goals, then probably we'll come back.
Yeah, we'll come back. Exactly. Yeah, Emmanuel, do you want to just jump on it before we go into?
Yeah. It was another good game to watch. These finals have, I feel the semi-finals have been great games all around, right? Arsenal versus Atlético, Bayern versus PSG. Attacking football, defenders defending properly. We saw all sorts in this semi-final, so it didn't fall short of expectations, really. The Bayern versus PSG game, I just felt like PSG will win it at the end of the day, right? Because I felt like PSG had a bit more than Bayern. Bayern is a good team, don't get me wrong, one of the best when it comes to one of the best in Europe currently. But I feel like PSG had it, they're an all-round stronger team than Bayern currently. They can defend, they can attack. And has, of course, clearly they have issues defending, but PSG still has shooting a lot of goals this season in this Champions League, about 24 goals this Champions League season. So it was a good one, but I think that first goal that went in against PSG, again, that Dembélé scored, that just killed the game for me because I didn't see. Actually, after the first half, I didn't see Bayern scoring 2 goals to equal to even out the scores. I just felt like PSG had it. They defended very, very well. They scored the goal and defended properly all through, saw it through. I'm looking forward to the finals. It's going to be a really, really interesting one because Arsenal, we know they're strong defensively. PSG, they have a wonderful attack. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch in the finals. But I'm really, really looking forward to it. So, but congrats to PSG. Back-to-back finals. It's not easy. No matter who you are, it's not easy to get to Champions League finals 2 years in a row. Enrique is doing a marvelous job in PSG, right? And the thing
I'm telling you.
when the guy came initially, Mbappe left, we were like, where's space without Mbappe?
Yeah.
Now, look at where they are. Team is like a team. They're playing for each other, right? I feel for Mbappe. The guy has been so unlucky, right? He left PSG to go to Champions League. And since he got there, they've not even got to the finals.
No, it's similar to
Yeah,
what
even
happened to Kane.
trophyless
Even
since
Kane,
he got there.
even Kane has not won Champions League since
His
he
last
left
2
it.
years.
But Kane has won the German league twice or two or three times in a row, right?
No, the thing is, Madrid will still win 1 or 2 La Ligas. It's the Champions League that they really want.
Yeah.
They want it every year if possible.
They are signing
Yeah.
petition to have
Yeah.
for him to leave. So
Yeah,
I don't know what
30 million people have signed that petition already. 30 million people have signed it already. It's crazy.
I don't know what Mbappe did to
30
them.
million have signed the petition. It's crazy. Like I don't understand how bad people don't want the guy in Madrid. It's just shocking. And what happened? Anyway, maybe we'll get to it later. But what happened was he was injured. He took some time off. The club approved for him to travel. He traveled with his girlfriend. So when they saw him in the pool with his girlfriend, and that sparked all the issues. It's just crazy. I don't understand what else has happened internally, but from what I see in the news, that's what has happened, right? He took some time off because he was injured. Part of the rehabilitation process for him to stay away from the pitch, and just how they normally get what they do when they're injured. They don't play football, they don't train, right? He went out with his girlfriend. He traveled somewhere. I don't know where did he travel to.
Yeah, okay, I think he went for vacation in, is it Italy?
I don't know where he traveled to.
I know he's still within Europe too. He just went on vacation, but they said he's injured. But he went for recovery in that country, but he went with his partner. They're like...
Yes, there's nothing...
there's nothing wrong in...
There's nothing wrong
traveling with your partner.
So, this football, I feel for them, right? I feel for them because their lives are out there in the public.
In the public, yeah.
You and I can travel and nobody cares, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere and they're all over the place. It's shocking, but I mean, back to PSG. Congratulations to them. Back-to-back finals, 2 years in a row. It's not easy. So I'm looking forward to the finals on the 30th of May.
Yeah, that's a good one. So because everything is so slim now, we had just 4 teams. As at I think middle of last week, we had just 4 teams. But right now, the final is set. We already know that Arsenal will be facing PSG in the final, and it's been a very interesting run, if you ask me.
Yeah.
PSG was in the playoffs back to back. They needed the playoffs to even go ahead. So it's a very interesting team. And we said it last week, they know how to switch it on when you give them the key. They just switch it on at this time of the season. And I think they've also done a good job in keeping Dembélé to be, this influential at this time of the season, because his injuries have really hurt, previous teams he has played on. But right now, they know how to keep him the right way for him to be a real weapon at this time of the season. And I like how they're able to do that. But back to the Premier League, we want to be able to just talk about an aspect which has not really been interesting for a while, and that's Manchester United. I just got information that they increased all the players' salary by 25% because they qualified for Champions League.
No, it's in the clause.
No, it dropped.
It's in the clause.
It dropped last year because
it's in the clause. It's in the clause for any Man U player.
Because they
once
didn't
you
make
don't go
last
to
year,
Champions
it
League, you
dropped.
get the pay cuts. Everybody pays for
Okay, so
the
that was the
thing.
motivation for them to play like...
No, that's in Man U's clause. If you are playing in Man U, once you go to Champions League, you get the bump. If you don't qualify Champions League, you all get the deduction. Everybody pays the price.
Pays the price. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then that's a very good one. So looking at their performance against Liverpool for the weekend under review, that was a very good one. And, I like the way they started very fast, that psychological resilience. Even though they went up 2-0, but it was very, very clear. And that also led to that unanimous decision where the board came together and said that they will most likely go with Carrick And when they did their voting, everybody, it was just unanimous. Everybody was like, man, this is the man we're looking for. He needs to be able to help us. I don't know if he's going to be able to take us to our El Dorado, if that's the right statement in this sequence, but at least he's a coach that will keep them disciplined because he's a winner. He has won under Sir Alex Ferguson, and I feel that he has that discipline to keep them going and help them compete at a very high level. So I'll just allow, Crespo just jumping on it on what are the expectations from Mainoo? They've been able to get it done from their last win against Liverpool, but what do you think we need to expect going forward?
It's pretty simple. Casemiro is going.
Yeah.
Ugarte is going. There will be a number of guys that will leave. Mainoo right now, like you said, probably Carrick would be the John the Baptist that would herald the Messiah that will come. Fair enough. If that is the
Forerunner.
plan, Forerunner, if that is the plan, that works. It puts everything in good stead for the key guy that comes afterwards, to take us to that point. Because if you look at the level at which it seems like Arsenal, Man City are playing, while short of that level, which we have to be fair to Man U. We can't compete at that level right now consistently. We have not shown that. So if somebody comes in right now, as Carrick is doing, to steady the ship, I hope they can give him the right tools, to really bolster that team, to have quality in the places they've identified. Like everybody has identified over this, that the midfield is not the strongest of Man U, and probably the wing backs that we have, probably they're not the best that we have, and probably maybe a left wing forward that we don't have right now, So it's clear to the blind that for Man U to do well, they need to bolster that team, and as much as also clear some dead wood also. If they do that, then I think they're looking forward. And more importantly, with what they have, if they can achieve the Champions League again in the next season, that will be a good sign that they are coming back.
Great.
Because if
They're
they
coming
go,
back. Yeah.
they can't make the Champions League after this, then it's like back to square one. So
Yeah, exactly.
So for Carrick, it's going to be a lot of work. He has given us a taste of something delicious. We won't like to spit it out anytime soon.
That's true. Yeah. It means that if you look at the spices that he has used, they are working out well for
Yeah, absolutely. So
everything that he's cooking
What is
right now.
Yeah.
He's mixing well.
Yeah,
But I think
mixing
the
well.
pressure is also on him because I think 3 or 4 weeks ago we're talking about the fact that they are still looking for a coach, looking for who will take over.
Yeah.
But now that they've done a complete U-turn and they've decided to just put that, I remember when they were telling Rose now all the good things.
But is it
now the
confirmed
way
though? So
football is results. If you don't get results, you get
driven.
fired.
Yeah. Especially, we also talked about it last week about the fact that there's no more delayed gratification now in this league. It's right now. We need what you can do right now because of the investments coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, so far. But Joshua, if you look at the flip side, the team Man U played with this weekend is Liverpool. Unfortunately, I heard that there was an injury to their key striker, Isak. He could not play. And looking at the fact that since when Isak left Newcastle, it's not really had a very, very good. He's back from injury. Now he's gone again on injury. Ekitike too now has an Achilles tear. So he's going to be out for a long time. What do you think they need to do differently with 2 of their key players going, Robertson and Salah? What do you think they need to do going forward to be able to put themselves in better position to compete?
For Liverpool, yeah, I think, and I was going to say, like, I remember mentioning it when we on this call, like, much earlier, a few months ago, of like how they just need to write off this season for Isak, right? Like, I know that this is just write this off, like, and he will get his full preseason. We don't even know how World Cup would go. Based on his injury, if he's able to make World Cup, I think he might play World Cup, but he'll get full preseason and then he can come next season, I think, stronger.
Is he supposed to represent Eritrea in the World
No,
Cup?
he represents
Sweden.
Sweden. He plays for
Sweden.
Sweden.
Okay.
I think Sweden have
Okay.
they've qualified through playoffs. Graham Potter is their coach.
Potter.
So yeah, so I think that would be that. Also, Ekitike will come back next season. He won't play the World Cup. So I think he would also come back fit, and whenever he's ready to play, he can deputize Isak. But I think what they really need to have a clear strategy on what they want to do this summer. Because I think this summer is important for not just Liverpool, but also for Arne Slot. Because as we've seen all through the years in Liverpool, especially since these American owners came in, they were always buying diamonds in the gutter. And then Liverpool, they become good, right? And we saw that throughout the years in for Jurgen Klopp.
Jurgen
Only
Klopp, yeah.
time they spent a lot was when they bought Van Dijk for 75 and Alisson.
Yeah.
But the
And I
others
think it took
were
them above the hump. If you look at it well, Bayern Van
exactly,
Dijk, they won
and then
Champions
when they
League.
came to Liverpool, they went to the
Yeah.
next level. So
Next
they've
level, yeah.
not usually bought ready-mades. It's not something they are used to. Remember when they bought Salah, Mane, Firmino, Henderson, Mainoo, all those players, you know, they were not even Robertson. They bought Robertson from Hull City.
From Hull City.
City, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
and not
that's
came
true.
from the academy. So it was in Liverpool that Jurgen Klopp made all of these guys into superstars. Luis Diaz came from, I think he came from Portugal somewhere.
Yeah,
right.
Portuguese
So,
league.
but in this last summer, they then changed. Slots coming in. I don't know what happened, but like this spending all of those millions on Florian Wirtz, Ekitike, Isak, Keke. It's not something we've seen them do. These owners
Doing a long term.
Yeah,
it depends on. So what would they do this summer? Would they go the same route? I don't think they can go the same route because I don't think they will have that much money to be able to spend again. Or do they go back to their tried and trusted of like trying to find, because they need to get someone for Robertson. They need to get, for me, I think, which is critical, they need to get a central midfield. And that position is very important in football these days. And not just that, because I think a lot of the top clubs in England will be looking to fill that position. Like Crespo said, Casemiro Ugarte is going. Man United need at least one central midfielder. Liverpool needs. Man City might need, if Rodri leaves, or to at least deputize Rodri. So it's a profile of player that clubs are looking for now. So give me interesting what Liverpool does, because Gravenberch did well last season, but this season we've seen that Alistair, he's had a drop in form this season. Maybe that will come back next season, who knows? But also, he's not a traditional central midfielder. You need, like, when we talk about people like them, Declan Rice, Casemiro, Caicedo, all those kind of players like that. So I think Liverpool need to find someone like that in their midfield. They need to replace Salah. Who would that be? I have no idea. And I think they also need a centre back, right? So it depends on how can they find these players. Can they find the profile that fits how Slot wants to play, and can they get them for the right amount? So that would determine how their season goes. So it's really hard to make a judgment now until we see how the summer goes. And just take it from there, because I think they'll qualify from Champions League, which is good. And next year would be to see an improvement from this season, right? I don't expect them to win the league, actually, because of this season they've had.
Challenge.
But I expect them to challenge, right? And again, who knows? They could surprise us. They could. I mean, no one saw Slots winning the league this season he came, because your club didn't win the league with that same squad this season before. So
that's true.
in football, you never know, right? And no one also thought that this season they will struggle the way they struggled right after winning the league. So football always shows us that. You know, you don't know, right? Even with Crespo talking about Man United what's his name, Carrick, right? You don't give him the chance. How would you know if you perform or not perform well, right? So again, right, you have to give people the chance. Arsenal give Arteta the chance, right? And right now we can see the results 6 years later, you know. So sometimes things will just take time. Jurgen Klopp took time, so maybe Carrick will take time. I still believe also that he wouldn't take them to the promised land. I think he'll be the bridesmaid. He might not take that problem, but again, you know, you never can tell. Never can tell. So, but from Liverpool, I think this summer is really critical, really important for them in terms of they have to replace those players.
Definitely.
Robertson, very right back, a centre back, a central midfielder, someone to replace Salah on the right. And I think the profile of central midfielder they need is someone like Declan Rice, Caicedo, someone that can take the heat before the defense, someone that is physical, that can impose his physicality on the games, and then allow Florian Wirtz to just occupy that 10. So, you know, you free him a bit from having to run, having to defend, because having three midfielders, McAllister, Gravenberch, and Florian Wirtz, that cannot run off the ball, cannot walk, cannot chase, has impacted them this season defensively. So, and we know Arne Slot is different from Klopp. He's not gang pressing.
That's true.
Dutch, so he likes to control play. So interested to see what they do this summer. But I think this summer is critical for them.
Yeah, I forgot to also mention that looking at the movement of coaches, I think there are 3 clubs that we still don't know what the direction will be. Fulham is also, their coach is also leaving. I forgot to mention that when we're doing the analysis of Arsenal, Fulham. So it means that we're probably having 3 coaches that we still don't know what the next direction will be. I think Glasner too, we still don't know.
Yeah, he's leaving, but people are expecting him to make a U-turn, but he said he's leaving.
He's leaving.
He's leaving.
Bournemouth leaving. In fact, they've gotten a replacement. They've already announced the replacement.
Yeah. And some other clubs have not really come out to really say. I know that West Ham has also said that they will still keep their coach even if they go down.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a couple of movements that will happen around, coaching staff and assistant coaching staff across the league as well. And that's why you will see that even Mainoo is being careful with even the coaching decision, because if you lose a Carrick, do you have a top coach out there that doesn't have a job? Really? I know Madrid is still probably looking at Mourinho because Abeloa definitely will leave at the end of the season. But, apart from that, how many top coaches are really out there? I don't even see Jurgen Klopp coming back to coach anytime soon.
Chelsea is
He's
still
just doing
looking for a
he's doing advertisement everywhere. You understand? You see him doing advertisements in Spain, he's just enjoying himself,
Join his life.
enjoying his life.
enjoy golf.
Exactly.
Yeah, just chilling.
He's really chilling. I like him because he's very intentional about enjoying himself, And anytime you see him in any interview, I heard he took up head of football operations in what's the
Leipzig.
most
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Red Bull, yeah. All those kind of jobs, you just take it based on, you don't really need the money, but you just want to be able to offer support. And, when you get to that level of your career, you pick up whatever you want, people will be bringing things, you'll be looking at them, okay, which one can I pick, I like the way he's approaching it now. So another aspect is very interesting I wanted to talk about is the team that sits on the 6th position presently now in the Premier League is very dicey, and that's Bournemouth. Bournemouth has been very outstanding, especially their performance against the top 5. And now their position is 6th. They demolished Crystal Palace. It looks like Crystal Palace, they've gone on vacation without physically going. They are not playing. It looks as if they are prepared to lose all their games, the way they
But
are
at least
playing.
they're in the European final. They made to final.
Yeah.
Exactly. They are just focusing on that European
Yeah.
side. The Premier League for them, once they've gotten above 40 points, they are not really concentrating anymore. So, Emmanuel, I just want you to jump on Bournemouth generally. There may be some drama around 5th position because Aston Villa, I didn't check if Aston Villa actually won. I think I slept off when
Yeah,
they were playing
they
that
did.
match. Okay,
They
they
won.
won 4.
Yeah.
I knew that they wanted it more because they had a coach that has been there before. So it was going to be very embarrassing. Their first leg, they already lost against Nottingham Forest. So their second leg, they now went back 4-0 because getting to a final, automatically, I feel Aston Villa is going to take everything that they can get to make sure that they get this win. So generally, that scenario of between 4th, 5th, and 6th, what do you think is really going to happen, Emmanuel?
Oh, that's an interesting one. 4th, 5th, and 6th. I mean,
4th, 5th, a very interesting position.
very interesting position because, Aston Villa has been a bit disappointing, right? Because they were second before at a point. This season, second before, right? Now
Okay,
they're looking at 5th, right? I mean, I don't see them going below 5th. If I start from, I don't see them going below 5th because they're still 6 points above Bournemouth. Bournemouth has to play Man City, which is not going to be an easy game, right? Even though they're playing at home.
Yeah, I think they can also beat Man City because
too.
Rodri is
right?
not 100%. Rodri is not 100%.
Man City can also beat them too. So Liverpool, I don't know who Liverpool has to play next. Who do they have to play next?
I think Chelsea.
Chelsea. I think they're playing Chelsea.
They're playing Chelsea.
Let me check. No. Let me.
Okay, I think it's Tottenham playing Chelsea.
Tottenham's playing Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's even a tough one.
No, Liverpool Chelsea is the next game.
Okay, Liverpool Chelsea. Okay.
Yeah.
Where are they playing at Anfield, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they are playing.
I feel bad for you, man. Sorry, you don't know what's going to happen. Don't worry, your team is going through a phase.
Yeah,
Of next season, but this season is already gone. I just hope you guys.
But Liverpool too is losing some games that you don't expect them to lose this season.
Yeah, but again,
if you look at it,
I mean, both of them are. I see Liverpool beating Chelsea. It may not be a big win, it might be just a 1-0 or 2-1 or 3-2 win, right? Both teams are not doing well defensively and attacking wise. So I see Liverpool beating Chelsea. So I mean, overall, I still see this 4th, 5th, and 6th remain the way it is. If I'm being honest, the only one I see between 6th and 7th actually, Brentford might actually topple Bournemouth if Bournemouth doesn't beat Man City. Right. So I think there's still something that might change between 6th and 7th. But 4th and 5th, I don't know. It might be people are going to get above Liverpool or Liverpool being 5th, but I don't see any of them going below 5th, quite honestly, based on what is left for them to play. That's it. I mean, the season is still, we still have 3 games to play. So let's see how we go. They still have some interesting games. Bournemouth, Villa still has to play. They have to play Man City on the last day of the season, right? And they have a final to play. So I guess right now, focus is on the Europa League final. I know Emery will want to win that final. That should be probably his 5th one if he wins it. And the guy won for himself.
I think he won 3 in a row.
No,
when it was in Seville.
We won 3 in a row.
Won 3 in a row, went back to Spain and he coached, I think, Villarreal.
Yeah.
Won the fourth one with Villarreal. I think that was when Villarreal beat Man U.
I can't remember.
Yes, in the final.
Yeah, that's when Villarreal beat Man U. So he had won 4 now, so that he's going for his 5th.
For a 5th one. No, so
Yeah.
he has been to 5 finals, or maybe the 6th final. And the one he didn't win was the one with Arsenal. The only one that is lost.
Exactly.
Which is interesting. So I think Villa's focus is just choose that final. I mean, if I were him, I'll do the same thing as well, right? Because I don't see them dropping below 5. 6 points is a lot. I see them winning their next game. They probably will lose the one against Man City because Man City will still want to, play well to win the day. Might still have a chance at the league at that time. But Villa will probably be focused on the Europa League final, right? So in summary, I see 4th and 5th. There may be a change. Villa might go above Liverpool, or Liverpool might be 5th. But I don't see any of them going below 5th. But 6th and 7th might still change. In fact, 6th, 7th, and 8th might still change because it's just 1 point, between each of them. So let's see how that goes.
It might be interesting also that position in terms of people who go to Europe might get to number 8. Even the 8th team might go to Europe because if Aston Villa eventually finishes in
if they win the Europa League
in 5th place, and if they win the Europa League, they go to Champions League. So that spot remains becomes free for the 8th team to take over that spot. So it's going to be interesting how it eventually plays out. But Brighton, Bournemouth have a good chance to play, and I'm so happy for Bournemouth. Only sad that the man who made this work will not be there to represent them in Europe next season. I think I mean, this is no secret to what I think about him.
So
I would have loved him to come to Chelsea, but
so Champions League would not be Arsenal, Man City, Man U, maybe Liverpool, and then Villa. Villa, if Villa win the Europa League,
Europa,
right?
yeah.
And would they give them an extra slot?
Yeah,
I don't think so. No, they don't get an extra slot.
No. I'm saying Aston Villa will go to Europe. So if
they finish 5th, they go to Europe by the table.
No. If they win Champions League, if they win the Europa League, they go to Champions League automatically.
So will they give the 6th position the slot?
Yes.
To the Champions League.
So yes.
That's how what's the name? Sport made it to
Champions League,
because they won the Europa League against
No, that's not my question. My question is for the 6th position right now. Yeah. If it ends currently this way, Bournemouth is 6th. Does that mean Bournemouth goes to the Champions League?
No. Bournemouth then goes to Europa League. If Aston Villa wins Europa League.
No.
Bournemouth goes to Europa League.
Let's say if Arsenal wins, let's say table ends where it is currently, right?
Yeah.
So Arsenal, City, United, Liverpool will go to Champions League. Villa too.
By a 5th position, it's Champions League slot. So England has 5 slots.
Yeah.
So the 5-5. So if Villa now wins Europa League, that means even if they were 7th or 8th, they will still go to Champions League.
No, what Crespo is saying. So 6th will now go to Champions League.
Yeah.
6th will now
go to Champions League
as Bournemouth.
Because there are 2 slots for Champions League for Aston Villa.
Yes. 2 slots. Two pathways.
So they will go with winning Europa League. Then that 5th place that would have gone before.
Are you sure that's what UEFA will accept? I don't know. I might need to check. Okay.
So you go that means Bournemouth goes to Champions League.
And 7th will now go to Champions League, Europa League. 8th will now go to Conference League.
Conference League, yeah, that's true. And it looks like right now Brentford will be able to get something the way it's going. If it ends now, Brentford will be able
Brentford
to
really want to go to
Conference League.
We used to Bournemouth and Brentford in Europe, man. I'll be happy for them if they make it. Especially if Bournemouth goes to Champions League, it will be a big achievement for them, man. Really big,
extremely big.
The money to do to their club,
Yeah.
A lot of money. Moreover, they have more matches to play next season automatically.
It now affects their league form.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
More matches to play. And now with the coach that has made them achieve that going, so it's a new coach that now comes to enjoy that exposure.
Yeah. But I've loved Raiola to go to Chelsea, but right now I don't think I want anybody that I like to go to Chelsea because it will just reduce
your own club. Hey, Joshua, but why?
You can reduce your stock except those owners get their acts together and decide to give this guy the chance to do what he wants to do. Don't interfere, because I don't know why you need all of these 5 sporting directors. Let him do the job. But unless that, it's just going to be another Maresca again. After 18 months, you realize they will fight and
Yeah. Okay. I think we'll just quickly dive into the relegation battle. Looks like Tottenham had a very good one against Aston Villa, beating them 2-1 and, giving themselves some life. And I noticed that there's going to be a battle, especially at the bottom of the table. Is either West Ham survives or Tottenham gets in there. But it was almost looking like Nottingham Forest too was not safe where they were. And they needed that win to be able to, give themselves the opportunity to be able to get out of relegation zone and keep fighting. Because right now, Nottingham Forest cannot even play in the final of the Europa League anymore.
Yep.
Aston Villa has been able to make that clear that they want it a bit more as well. So with the 4-0 win, well, that was a very good statement. But it looks like if going down the table, what do you think will really happen? And Crespo, I'm thinking, in my own opinion, Tottenham has what it takes to survive, and West Ham will most likely fall in. But what do you think will happen? Worst case scenario,
Yeah,
bottom table.
We said it. We said for Tottenham to survive, they needed to win, or they need to win all their games.
Exactly.
They've done one ahead of West Ham by winning their last game, and West Ham didn't. So let's see what happens in the next game. But like we said, for Tottenham to survive, they are competing primarily against West Ham right now. So if West Ham drops points and they don't drop, they are good. Or if West Ham drops points and they drop, they are fine. So I think till the end, they'll just be looking over each other's shoulders. So whoever decides not to step up would go on. But again, unfortunately, West Ham is facing Arsenal that wants the league badly. So we cannot count that as a loss already. Quote, football can tell us otherwise. The books don't tell us any sign that West Ham has a chance against so again, that's another loss in our calculations, in our predictions against Arsenal for West Ham, and possibly Tottenham can take advantage of the win they had the last time and just have another 3 points added to separate them from West Ham.
They're playing Leeds, so that's not an easy game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they are playing Leeds, but they are playing Arsenal. West Ham is playing Arsenal.
Yeah. Arsenal next.
And Leeds is as good as home and dry right now.
Yeah. Leeds they are safe wherever they are.
The pressure is no longer on Leeds, so it's on Tottenham to take advantage. But again, the flip side is if West Ham loses and they lose, they are still ahead of West Ham.
Yeah. They're still ahead. They're just ahead with 1 point. So
that's what I mean. So they're just looking after each other. The day West Ham wins, Tottenham must win. The day they lose, it's fine to lose. So.
To lose, yeah. Okay, that's a good one. I think it's just general because with the number of matches that are left, this is the most drama I've seen in a long time because you don't even know who the clear winner is with 3 games to go. Absolutely. Everybody is still playing to the last whistle, and it looks like everything must count. I think the next one is, we touched a little bit on it, was Chelsea's downfall. I think they've lost focus completely. Against Nottingham Forest at home, in London, they still lost 3-1. And, they were able to still do 67% of possession and they lost that game. You understand? 21 shots, 10 corners. They were in control of that game, but it just looked like at some points, the rhythm, So I'll just allow Joshua give us an idea. When the early goal came from Taiwo Awoniyi, I was like, man, Chelsea again. Conceding an early goal at the second minute. And, from there, I was thinking, something would change, but nothing changed. Joshua, just give us what you think is the way forward. What do you think really needs to change so that Chelsea will start to come back to winning ways?
Yeah, I don't think there's a way forward. I think it's not this season anymore. And like I said, I think this season is done already. It's a write-off. I don't think we can even make any European places. Because I think the morale is pretty down. It's pretty low. Everything that's happened this season, and because the coach there now is just like a caretaker, just a figurehead till the end of the season. So there's really nothing much he can do. But for the game, I think the early goal just sets the tone. When you concede 2 goals like that early in the game, all of a sudden then fighting to get something back in the game, and you then need luck to go your way. And Pedro hits the bar, very, very close one. Palmer missed the penalty. It just shows you that you've run out of luck. If Palmer, that was one thing that was as sure as life, as death and taxes, and Palmer missed that, then you know that everything that is going wrong is going wrong. So, and from there was just a long way back, and nothing really happened. They also eventually scored a goal, which was their first goal in God knows how many hours. But again, it's the 6th loss, straight Premier League loss, which is terrible for any team, let alone a big club like Chelsea. So it's quite interesting to see how this season has eventually shaped up for Chelsea, and I think it's going to be a good lesson for the team and also for the owners to go into next season making sure that something like this doesn't happen again. And I know they've made the statement when they sacked Liam that they would then really go into retrospective thinking and trying to pick a new coach. So I think that's really what they would be looking at now and going into summer of what was the strategy going forward? What do we need to do? Who is the manager that we're going to get? And how are we going to support this manager? What are the experienced players we need to get in the summer to add to this squad? Because truth be told, also, I don't think Chelsea are far off. As we've seen in football, like things can change pretty quickly. Look at Manchester United is a pretty good example that we can see right now. I mean, if anyone told anyone that when Amorim was leaving, that someone else would take this same crop of players and take them
and do a lot with them,
like it's a lie, right? Even Amorim said this is the worst Manchester United side he has coached. Everybody, they were terrible. Mainoo was on exile. Makakari came and it's the same players. It's not about any other player.
Yeah.
Right, it's the same players, and look at them now. If the season started from when Makakari came in, Man U probably be top. They probably won the most points since Kari came in. So it just shows you that nothing has changed. Just a new manager, a new belief, and all of a sudden they are performing well again. So sometimes in football, sometimes we think like it might need wholesale changes, but just a slight tweak, and it can either be good or bad, right? So it can either go either way. So I don't think Chelsea are far off. I think getting a good manager in the summer, who that would be, I have no idea. And also putting a structure in place to allow that manager to be successful and getting some experienced players. I think a centre half, maybe a goalkeeper, and then maybe also a left winger, someone to replace Garnacho or someone, a left winger. And for me, I'll bring back
replace Garnacho. Are you sending him away?
You scam Chelsea now. I don't know why anyone would see Garnacho play Manchester United and go and buy him. The same Garnacho we saw.
When he came,
now you were happy to let him go. They're like 40 million. Well,
40 million.
You get, and for me, I'll bring Jackson back.
Is he on loan?
He's on loan.
Yeah, he's on loan in Bayern.
No,
you guys
Bayern, starting. It's not starting.
You guys said
he can't start.
him bad.
Now really starting Bayern.
Yeah, no, it's not possible.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the mistake.
He didn't deserve that treatment.
No, but he already won Bundesliga now.
Yeah. I'd have brought him back, buy another striker, loan Lamb the lap back to Ipswich from whence he came. And I don't think we'll be too far off, as we've seen even from the first half of the season that this side is not like, I know they are a young squad, but it's not like they're
not terrible. It's not a terrible team.
Like they're not where the league table suggests they are. Like it's just whatever happened from that Maresca going, the morale of the team, everything just went downhill from there. And confidence is the hardest thing to get back up once it's gone down. All of a sudden, you can't do anything right? That's just what happens. First thing is that the coach, the structure from the owners and the players they'll get in the summer to help this coach, and also experienced players, and they should stop all this buying and selling. Get a squad that would grow together, keep the same core squad that can grow together and then channel, like have a core, like Manchester United have a core, Arsenal they have their core right now that they've developed from the back to the front, and just have that core player that would then grow with the team experience. I don't think we're too far about. Again, what do I know? I'm just
what do I know? Well, that's a tough one. There are some funny statistics around the way Chelsea has run the entire ball club. It's been different. They've had more than 24 coaches since 2006 till now. More than 24 coaches. And they're saying that the last time Arsenal got to the final was 2006. Up until now, Chelsea has had over 20 coaches. So it has been their own system. They want to bring in somebody that has the opportunity to change things right now. As in just right now. They don't want to hear excuses. Come in and change it right now. And remember, I think Crespo was the one saying that the honeymoon between them and Rose now, hopefully the relationship still remains tight. But unfortunately, they just had to let him go because they just went down and, there was no going back. Imagine right now Chelsea is sitting, I think they are 9th position on the table right now.
Yeah, 9th.
Yeah,
they are sharing the same points with an Everton of this world. You understand? So
we're challenging Arsenal for the title in November. When we got that winning draw against Arsenal. That's winning.
You beat us 1-1. You won us 1-1.
Man, that feels like a long time ago, man.
I'm telling you, it just looks like a long time. This same league has had 4 phases.
I'm telling you.
There was a time when Arsenal was so far away from Man City, and we're like, Man City cannot get it done this season. And right now, it looks like, man, every game counts really for them. Every game counts. So I'll just allow Emmanuel, just give us some closing moments around Everton and Man City. That match, when I checked and I saw it was because I was in and out of that match, and I was like, man, I think it was Crespo that said that Everton needs to, to be given some credit for helping us now, cause that kind of upset. Man City started strong, but later Everton, I look at that coach, Moyes at that age, he still has that galvanizing effect on the team. Especially coaches that are already, I think he's over 70, if I'm not wrong.
No, maybe, but he's one of the oldest in the
the oldest so far, and I'm like, see the way he still has that effect. Everton used to be a team 2-3 years ago, was fighting for what West Ham is, where West Ham is struggling now was where Everton was.
Remember, he
There
was
the
the
time
coach of
Everton was
West
even
Ham.
seventh.
They sacked him from West Ham, and that's why
They
they
sacked
are
him
where
from
they
West
are.
Ham. Where now?
Sometimes be careful what you
The
wish
time it
for.
was like seventh or something, because I was thinking they were going to be able to clinch an European spot at least. And it's still possible within that interface. So Emmanuel, just give us your 2 cents on the Doku was outstanding in that match, Doku scoring 2 goals. And looking at the way Pep Guardiola is using him, is giving him that flexibility to be able to come in from the left and, take all those shots. Even that last goal he scored was amazing. The defenders just gave him the opportunity and was able to curve it right in. So just give us what you think about the Everton Man City ending 3-3 and what it has done to that threat, opening gap up for Arsenal to be able to capitalize on it generally.
Yeah, I mean, it was another beautiful game to watch, right? Everton Man City. I think the first half, especially Man City to have scored a few more goals in that first half. They dominated the first half. It was just attack and defend. Everton was just defending for their lives, right? And the only thing that Doku could figure out, he scored that goal. Brilliant goal. Doku is just an excellent player.
Yeah.
On both feet.
Under these coaches is really excelling.
There was time that he wasn't playing. I think was it early in the season? He wasn't playing early in the season. And me, I know he wasn't.
Yeah, after they bought Semenyo, it was not
exactly.
He
wasn't playing, but all of a sudden, man, the guy is just like, once you pass the ball to him, he can beat his man like almost 8 out of 10 times once he has the ball. Like he does it effortlessly. So he was one of.
He's playing for Belgium now. He's playing for Belgium in this World Cup.
Yeah. He should be playing. He's a great player. So it was good to see Doku. Semenyo has been a
since his initial.
There's a way Pep squeezes a lot of juice out of you. They said when players
I
leave
think
Man City, they are never really the same.
No,
because
I think
he will squeeze a lot.
I think Pep has changed his position from the left. From the left side, it was more effective. On the right side,
exactly, that's true. It was on the left before.
Yeah.
That was on left or central. I think he does well. That's earlier from the left. That right wing is not really. Even though he played there against Arsenal, he played very well when he played on the Carabao Cup final. He almost finished in Capi that day, man.
That's true. I'm even afraid for this final, this FA Cup final that they're going to play against Chelsea.
Yeah.
At least Chelsea should just go there and give it everything. If at least an opportunity to win a silverware.
Yeah, I think they will actually.
And the thing with Man City is that once they don't have Rodri, big news for them. No matter what you say about Pep Guardiola, once Rodri is missing in that Man City side.
That's what happened in the Everton game.
Rodri was missing.
What was missing?
I don't know what happened. They were in control.
When they were early season, who was missing? Rodri was missing. Even when he got back, before he got, he kicked in and got to rhythm back, they were still not doing very well. So, and that was what they missed. They missed that person who could hold the ball comfortably and spread it around. That person who could play the ball out from the back comfortably, which is what it does for them. And that's what happened in that game. The first half, Everton was still playing with a bit of fear. They were just defending all through. Immediately they came out in the second half, started playing football. See what they did to Man City. Scored 3 goals in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And those goals were, first one was an error from the back, error from, what's his name, from
Magay.
The other 2 goals were...
Yeah, that's why Magay pained him. He just sat down on the floor. I was like...
Yeah, because he caused the Everton comeback in that game. So, and he saw the other 2 goals that they scored. What happened? Losing the ball in midfield. Not being able to track and close down guys properly, which is what Rodri is so good at. Rodri and Bernardo Silva together. So I think they missed that guy. And if he's not back by the next game, that's why I fear for what will happen when they play against Brentford, and even against, like you said, against Chelsea as well. Chelsea has a chance in that final. If I heard he's not training currently, and I think
trying to force him back. It's not really 100%.
So that's the thing. So say what you want to say about Pep. Pep is a great coach, an excellent coach, at least one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world right now, right, on current standing. But without Rodri in that Man City midfield, they look very, very open. They don't look that coordinated, right? So I think that was one key miss in that game, and Everton capitalized on that in the second half, and they just attacked them, kept on attacking. But where I was a bit something like Everton, even though they tried to leave the game at 3-3, but considering those 2 goals at the end of the day was just like, I mean, how can you lose those 2 goals? You were 3-1 up, and he could have scored more if India took his chances. It would have been 4 or 5-1.
Yeah, I don't know why he was just so
So it's
Wasteful, yeah.
Illiman.
you know. But I mean, at the end, it is what it is, right? Everton tried; they did very well. I mean, it's not easy to be leading Man City 3-1. This current Man City side, right? Given that they've been in great form lately, it's good to see that. As an Arsenal fan, I'm happy that the result was 3-3. Even though I preferred an Everton win.
Everton was close to getting it done. That goal came very late.
And again,
from Doku.
and a lot of things played in Man City's favor. First of all, it was meant to end at 96 minutes.
Yeah,
and that's when Doku had that ball, and the person marking Doku fell down.
Exactly.
So a lot of just and he got the chance immediately, tried that shot again, and it was a goal. So I was like, enough. It just maybe it was just meant to be a draw for Man City. It just give them that 1 point. The title race is so on, as far as I'm concerned, because if Arsenal doesn't win Villa, doesn't win West Ham, or they draw against West Ham, or they lose against West Ham, Man City probably has the advantage, right? So let's see how it goes. There's still a lot to play for. 3 games to go for Arsenal. Man City has games to play. They have to play Brentford on Saturday. They have to play Palace. They have to play Bournemouth, and then they have to play Villa.
Absolutely, yeah.
Arsenal has to play West Ham, Burnley, and
Crystal Palace.
And the toughest West Ham right now is that West Ham is the one that I'm a bit worried about, because West Ham we play for their lives time around. It'll be like they're going to go all out to win the game, and West Ham sometimes they give Arsenal problems, right?
Yeah, that's
true. When they're playing at the Emirates too, but in their home it's always a different ball game, right? But let's see how it goes. There's still a lot of games to play for. It's an exciting title race for the neutrals, right?
Exactly.
We
like saying that.
You can still swing it. Even right now, Arsenal's the advantage, but it can still swing to Man City's favor if Arsenal don't do their jobs on Sunday against West Ham, or if Man City plays first on Saturday, if Man City doesn't win Brentford, you can also say the title is gone.
Yeah.
They don't win Brentford, the title is gone, because I don't see them from that one again.
Yeah,
and I think losing, if Arsenal will drop points, probably be only in 1 game. I don't think dropping points in more than 1 game. There will be 3 that are left, if at all.
That's true. Okay, so I think we can just end with something a bit different from most of the games, and it's also about disputes within 2 players within the same team. There was a big fight that happened between Tchouaméni. Did you hear about that? Tchouaméni Valverde. They fought because of the fight that they had. I think they had a physical altercation on the training ground, and Valverde would not be able to even play the remaining matches they have. And it's becoming a big thing. Everybody's talking about it. And I'm like, how can you have a teammate and to get to this level where you fight each other, that your teammate, because I think he injured his head, somewhere around his head or something. As in, can it be that bad that, your player won't be able to, your colleague won't be able to participate in remaining games of this season? I think it's so bad. The club should be able to do something about it. Definitely there'll be some disciplinary actions coming, and they should be able to rectify it. I think my own rating is Man City should be able to get a slim win against Brentford. Arsenal too should be able to comfortably get at least a very slim one, maybe a 1-0 win against West Ham United, and probably Man United has already sealed a comfortable win already, but it's going to be a quiet weekend from what I'm seeing, and that's just my own rating. Joshua, what do you think?
Yeah, I think City would. But again, I mean, just prediction. I think City will probably win also.
Okay.
And I think Arsenal would also win too. So
it's most likely a balanced weekend.
Yeah. Exactly.
Emmanuel, what do you think generally for your ratings before we close officially?
Without Rodri in that midfield, City will struggle, because they struggled against them, even against Burnley. They struggled without Rodri, right? So it showed again the weaknesses without Rodri in that midfield, right? I don't know who can do Rodri does for them. They've not been able to find a perfect replacement for Rodri. I see them struggling, even though they have enough to beat Brentford at the Etihad, right? But I still see them struggling. So I'll say that will probably be another draw for Man City.
Okay.
I mean, I predicted a draw against Everton and it happened. So I mean,
yeah. So it means we shouldn't
don't
look down on those predictions.
I'm not that. I don't have crystal ball, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay.
I see Arsenal beating West Ham, even though it's going to be a tough game, because
West Ham needs to survive
for their life. They want to survive. So I see them giving it their all to make sure that they get results in that game, because even a draw will be a good result for them, to be honest.
And their coach is a spirit.
Spirito, exactly. So I see even a draw for them will be a good result. It should be but I think that's not enough to beat with all the players coming up from injury. Odegaard is back at his back. As Luis Kelly is playing very well. Mendy's will be on the bench. You know, Gyökeres is in good form right now. So even if they decide to start Hazard, because Gyökeres probably has played a lot of minutes lately. So even if they start Hazard, Arteta decide to start with Hazard, I still see Arsenal beating West Ham. But
Is Martinelli 100%?
I don't know. I guess so.
Because there were some news that Timber, Martinelli, you know, Timber definitely they are saying is coming back quite soon. I don't know if he's going to come back ahead of the Champions League final. And Martinelli, I don't really know much about his percentage, how fit he is. Yeah.
I would think Timber should be back before the final. Timber might even be back in the next 2 or 3 games that we have, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Timber is
not
close.
West Ham game, maybe the Burnley game is probably where I might see Timber, maybe on the bench or something. Martinelli, it wasn't. I'm not sure I'd ever said anything about him being injured anywhere. So, but let's see. I mean, good thing we have apart from Martinelli, apart from everyone is available to be selected. But apart from you mentioned Martinelli right now, so maybe if he's not there, but even if he's not there, Trossard is there. Trossard can play his wing very well, right? Odegaard is back, so we can start with Odegaard and Eze, you know, and let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us. At least we've been able to push significant and filtered opinion across and some sharp analysis, looking at Premier League and Champions League. Thank you very much once again, and you know, I'd say have a wonderful weekend ahead. God bless me.
Thank you.
Have a good one.